Hey guys, J.C. Smith here. Today we're working on this F150. This is an 05 or an 06, I don't recall. I bought this thing for the leather seats to put in my wife's truck. We've already done that. We put the Clawsons back in. And we're going to get rid of this thing. But I'm looking it over. It has a power steering issue. You go down the road at low RPMs, the power steering feels pretty good. But once you get up to highway speeds, it's real stiff. Like you can barely move it. It'd be dangerous. So we're going to check it out and see what it is. A lot of guys think it's the U-joints in the steering shaft. I don't know. I'm not sure. I tend to believe that the power steering pressure is bleeding past the valve in the rack and pinion. But we're going to take it apart. We're going to take the wheels off. We're going to take the tie rods loose from each side and then see if it changes, if it gets easier. That way we can eliminate the possibility of the upper and lower ball joints being the problem. I would think that's not it, being as though it gets worse as highway speeds, but just to be thorough, we're going to take the wheels off and start with that. What are you doing?
Taking these off. How's come every time I'm doing something, you sneak up on me with that?
Because I tell people all the time, you're the one that does all the work.
Well,
You just let me get on camera like I'm actually doing something.
Not true.
They know the truth. You're the boss lady around here.
Whatever.
Run that in. You can run it in just till it impacts and it'll come loose.
Well, I'm not the expert.
I bet you are. Alright, let's get the tire off. You get it?
I don't know.
Cute.
It was in brake fluid.
Yeah, we changed the caliper yesterday. We hosed it down with water, but apparently didn't get it good enough, so we just soaked it with soap, and now we're going to water it down. Alright, let's get a look at this. Look how little the nut is for the CV shaft on this. That's like a baby. Alright, we got the tie rods loose. The problem is obviously not in the ball joints. Let's look at this side. Here. The ball joints are very free. So that's obviously not the problem, and I've got a load on it, so it's pushing up on the ball joint. So we're going to move into either the U-joints. We're going to look at them and try and grease them or lube them and see if it gets any better. So we'll try that next. Okay, so this shaft, this goes from the steering column to the rack and pinion like so, and this one's actually, it's a little stiff this way, real easy this way. But this one works really good this way, but you can hear it. Maybe. So let's go see if we can get another one. I have a parts truck we might be able to take this out of because it feels good. Alright, so this is the original shaft. The parts truck shaft is just as bad as this one. So, I cleaned it all up. I got it working pretty good. And I got it soaking. This is just a water bottle. I cut it off, filled it full of PB Blaster by the gallon. And we're going to soak it in there. I got it working pretty good. I really was hoping I could drill a hole in the end of this and put some grease in there and then, cover with like JB Weld or something, just so it would have some grease. But I don't think there's enough room in there to do anything. I know it's not cross-drilled. Wouldn't it be great if we could just drill all the way through each way, add a grease fitting in one of the end caps, and you could grease it. But yeah, I don't have a machine shop. But if I had something I could bore a hole straight through and it'd be straight both ways, that might be the hot ticket on these things. But this one's working really good. That one's working much better. It's not quite as smooth as these, but it's close. I'm confident enough in it that I think it'd be okay. I think we can soak this in here for a little while and see what it does and go from there. So we'll see. We'll soak it and I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and rotate these tires. These are the back ones. They're passenger car tires, or they're P-series tires. It's a light truck, but even so, I use, what's it say in here? It calls for a passenger tire. I like to use a light truck tire. They wear like iron. They're a little rougher riding, but man, it's a much better tire for what we use them for. So anyways, we just rotated them all. We're gonna let that piece soak and see what happens tomorrow. Okay, so this is the original shaft. It always worked real good this way and this way. And this side worked real good this way, but not so much the other way. But now, I've got it loosened up really nice. You can still feel just a little bit. So if this will work, that's probably what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put it back together, see how it does. If it's okay, we'll go that way. If not, then we'll do something different. Well, I'm thinking we could probably get this joint out and find a replacement joint. We may just have to weld in the caps, which could be a little odd, but let's hope it don't get to that. Let's just hope that works. Because our parts truck, I pulled that one out. It's worse than this. Both joints are bad. So I think we're better off to try with this. So we'll try that. We'll bring it back once we put it in. Okay, so the steering shaft was not the problem. It's still doing the same thing, which, you know, like I was saying, I thought it was in the rack and pinion, because the faster you go on the highway, the harder the wheel gets to turn. Like, as the hydraulic pressure increases, I think it's blowing past the valve and basically making pressure on either side of the spool inside the rack. So I got it up here. I'm gonna grab some jack stands. I'm gonna go a little bit higher, and we're gonna get this rack out of here. Alright, so I'm draining out my power steering fluid. I just put it up here. Sometimes I get a breeze and it's just blowing the fluid all over. I don't want a big mess. So the rack's ready to come out, except for these horrible rusty lines. This little flange here is supposed to be on the pressure line, and you put the return line in first, put this on, run the bolt in, holds them both in. Well, these lines are so rusty, they're not coming loose, so I'm gonna have to chisel them off. They will not move, and they're so rusty, even if I did get them loose, they're gonna leak. So I'm just gonna air hammer them things off and move on. I'll just order new hoses, I guess. So let's get it out of here. Alright, you can see the return line came out with no problem. The pressure line's still stuck. So, of course, the pressure line's a tough one to get to. It goes up to the back of the power steering pump, of course, and it's buried. I mean, it's way up in here. I've had several people ask me over the years why I don't like aftermarket parts. I'll show you. This is a good example as any. This hose, this is a pressure line. It's not bent right. So if you put this thing where it belongs, it doesn't sit correctly. It's supposed to have a bracket that comes off here and holds this thing where it belongs, and then a second bracket would come up in this area. Well, there's absolutely no brackets on this app anywhere, and that's what I really dislike about aftermarket parts. But it's a necessary evil. Not a lot we can do with it, so I'm gonna try and take the one off the other one and make this bracket work. So I'll see if I can get it to work. If not, I'm just gonna have to do my best to fasten it so it won't move. Basically what I don't want is it coming in contact with the balancer. So let's see what we can find out. I was able to transfer this clip from the other one. I don't think you're supposed to, but it's alright. Yeah, it's gonna hold it, so it's gonna work out alright. Done, and we're ready to set the rack in place. I've got the rack ready to go. I have found center, which really isn't as critical as you think, because if your wheels are straight, then you're right in the center. But you know, I made sure it's even turns either way, and I've transferred the outer tie rods to the inners, and I've put never sees on the ends of it. And I've got these close. I'll probably still have to get alignment, but regardless. And that's a new rack and pinion, not a reman. It was, I think I said earlier, it was more cost effective to buy a new one, pay the shipping on a new one, and not have to pay the return shipping on this one. It was a difference of like $40, and I got brand new with a better warranty, so I opted for the new. So anyways, let's get that in. So here's another reason I don't really like aftermarket stuff. Look at this. That's the power steering pressure sensor. It's really close to here, which means it's going to rub. So I'm going to have to find a way to kind of manipulate that pipe and turn it just a little bit on the tubing. See if I can get it away from there so it's not a problem later. Other than that, everything's in. I didn't have an oil filter, so I'll have to get one. I'll go ahead and change oil in this truck while we're at it. But yeah, we'll see if I can get that thing moved now. Everything else is lining up pretty good, so let's see what we can do. Gifts just keep on giving on this truck. I didn't notice that. I wish I had. This locust side the same way. Not sure where it's broke. There it is. Right there. I don't think it's cost effective to put just the springs in. I think I'll just get the whole strut assembly, spring, and the shock. It's basically a coilover shock is what it is. It's just three bolts up here, 3 nuts. Pretty simple to take out. You do it with the suspension hanging like this. So, yeah. Another step back, or another setback, I guess I should say. So I'll have to get them ordered up. Alright, I went ahead and took these out of my parts truck. They're fairly new. The parts truck was newer. They're in good shape, no breaks, no leaks. You know, in order to get a good quality replacement, you know, it's going to be what was it, almost $300, and I had these and I know they're in good shape, so I just went ahead and used them. But everything else is tied up. Got an oil filter, got the oil changed. Yeah, we're about to set it down, see what it looks like now, and I'm still waiting on the shaft that goes from the gearbox up. It hasn't come in yet, but let's get this thing down. Okay, got the new one. Just showed up. I didn't go for the bargain basement one. I went for the middle of the road quality. I tried to get this thing to work. I soaked it. I had it working really well, and let it sit for a couple days. Come back, and it was stiff again. It won't move. It's back to what it was. You gotta hit it pretty hard. So I thought, well, you know, it's worth the investment. It's under $100, so let's get the new one in. Okay, I got it all back together, and I'm driving it, and I've got the alignment, I have to say, pretty close. I mean, it's going down the road. It's not pulling one way or the other. My center point's good. I didn't measure it. I just, you know, measured the tie rods when I changed them over. So I'm going to go ahead and take it in and have a alignment done. That way, whoever gets it has peace of mind. You know, the front end's been aligned. So if and when they put tires on it, they should be good. But the truck is pretty good. Full drive works good. The air conditioning works good. The cruise control works. I mean, there's only just a couple small flaws in the truck that, you know, there's nothing I can do. Well, there's nothing I'm going to do about it. It's just not cost effective. But anyways, I'm going to drop it off, and we'll get a walk around once we get the alignment done. Okay guys, so there it is, sitting all up the way it should be. The front end, since I changed them coil springs out, has come up about 2 inches. Like I said, I just got picked up from having the alignment done. Nice chrome front bumper. I don't know about that aftermarket grill. I've got a factory grill I could put in it. Might look a little nicer. I'm not sure. This is paint peeling. It's aluminum hood. This seems to be pretty common in our area. See that? But we got the tires rotated, all of them pumped up, and got to look at it. Brakes are good. Runs good. It drives good. A little spot of rust starting right there, and the paint actually is kind of blistered right there, like cracked and split, and you got a spot starting right there. Got a bed liner in it, pretty decent. Interior's pretty decent. Dash in decent shape. That stereo's aftermarket something or other. My daughter likes that. She'd like me to take that out and put it in hers, so I might put a factory one back in this one. I'm not sure. The center console needs fixed. I'm not an interior guy, so, you know. My wife hasn't steam cleaned the interior yet, so I'm kind of showing you this a little early, but there's a box of crap I got to get out of here. Carpet's in decent shape. it runs really good. I ended up finding a door lock switch, so I went ahead and changed that out. It's got keyless entry. I don't believe that's factory. I think it's add-on. It's got a little bit of a repair here in the seat, but yeah, pretty decent. I'll show you how it cleaned up under the hood. Little spot right there starting. Which these are things that are pretty common in our area. Engine cleaned up nice. Looks pretty good. Really can't complain. The thing runs really well. I didn't do anything to the engine on this. You know, it's just the power steering. It starts good, it runs good, it's quiet. Not much more I could ask for. I might change out this grill. I think I have a factory grill on a truck that I could put in there. And I think I have another truck I could put that grill on that would look better, make more sense. So anyways, but there it is. It's all finished up. That's it. So now this one's done. I'll be putting it up for sale. And we'll move on to the next one. I'm hoping this is an 05 with 140 on the miles. It's 4-wheel drive, power windows, power locks, air cruise tilt, all that. Everything seems to work okay. I've got some miles on it now. I'm thinking about taking it to West Virginia, but on a trip here, it's about a 3-hour drive each way. You know, just to make sure it's okay. But I don't know. It's going to be up for sale. Oh, the one window vent visor, it's fallen off, and I haven't got that put on yet. I'm going to get that done. You can see it's missing. I have it in the back seat, you saw. I'll get that put on. I forgot about that. But anyways, I don't know. You guys tell me what you think it's worth. Tell me what do you think that truck should sell for. I have an idea what I think it's worth in my area, but I'm just curious what everybody else thinks it might be worth. But anyways, we're done with this one. So if you guys like what we're doing, give us that thumbs up. I appreciate it. Hit that like button if you want. Subscribe if you want. Leave your comments down below, and you know, if you want to leave me an idea what you think this truck is worth, I'd be curious to see, because you know, one man's opinion is only that. It's just an opinion. So anyways, we'll leave you at that. All right, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.